Alright, welcome to part 14 of the Super Mario Bros. Wonder playthrough. Still continuing on with World 4. I actually believe we'll be finishing World 4 today, so off we go to the special world first. We gotta play the...
I was gonna say something about Dragon Ball, but I don't know if it would get me cancelled or not.
I don't know.
Okay, I won't make the comparison unless you guys think it's a good idea. But I was gonna say you can tell, or at least I think you can tell someone's ancestry based on which Dragon Ball character they like.
Hey Carlos, what's your favorite Dragon Ball?
What does Frieza say about that person?
There's red, yellow, dark yellow, and darker yellow.
Can I explain my reasoning?
Okay.
If you like Broly or Goku, you are probably Hispanic. If you like Vegeta, you are probably Caucasian.
Brian.
If you like Frieza, you are probably racist.
I mean...
I mean, the only way you can know if a Mexican restaurant is legit is if they have a statue of Broly wearing a sombrero. It sounds like a joke, but there's an actual restaurant that someone posted that genuinely had that.
Seriously?
And I know this place is legit now.
Well, we gotta eat there now. Honestly,
Which, to be fair, I think that's just epic. That just means that they have good taste.
honestly, that level wasn't that hard. I'm gonna be perfectly honest. The special world levels are supposed to be the harder ones. That wasn't. I don't know, man. Maybe that's.
I didn't like that one timer level where you had to like wall jump through the obstacle course before all the blocks disappear.
Oh yeah, that one.
That one sucked when I did it.
That one takes skill. Yeah.
I don't have skill. I have the ability to turn my brain off.
Oh, so you're a PlayStation fan. Okay.
Yes. Listen, I don't care which
I was about to fuel up the console wars again.
I don't care which console you own, but nothing hit the same as Halo voice lobbies. And PlayStation players will never have that. They'll never have had that experience.
No.
Yeah, fucking Halo lobbies were something different. The only thing they'd ever gotten close to was probably like old school Call of Duty lobbies.
They had Call of Duty, but Call of Duty lobbies were just inspired by the Halo ones. There was just the spin-off.
Halo was the first Call of Duty.
I'll say Call of Duty lobbies did have some fire moments though.
Yes, but I feel like that was only because of the inspiration. It was not because they themselves were individually great.
I gotta give credit where credit's due, to at least to Call of Duty, that it maybe had at one point was one of the big faces of fucking Neanderthals of gaming.
True.
And it is probably the face.
I mean, it still is. Have you seen the kind of people that play the new Call of Duty games?
Yeah, fair point.
Certified Neanderthals, all of them.
I mean, to be fair, I haven't played the newest one, but I'm still a Neanderthal, so.
That's the sentence.
I'll be the first person to admit that I'm essentially a Call of Duty Neanderthal. That's what I mostly played in my years growing up.
I played Modern Warfare growing up, and I loved it.
Oh, that's like classic like Call of Duty lobby, like MW2. Just hearing like 14 people spout the N-word every 6 seconds.
I also played Advanced Warfare, I think it's called. And everyone was like, that game sucks. But when I played it, I was like 9 years old, so I had no idea it sucked. So I was like, this is awesome! They have exosuits!
Yeah, I agree that when you're younger, you may think it's good, but if you're like, if you're a veteran of the games, like you've played a lot before, then you obviously the comparison of it's going to be less than what you know, which you could consider biased, but I also am willing to admit the truth that I don't think Advanced Warfare is as good as like Modern Warfare or Black Ops.
Yeah, I don't think it's as good. I don't think it's like a bad game. Like, it's much less of like a corporate cash grab than what they put out these days.
I'd honestly much rather play Advanced Warfare than I would something like Vanguard, honestly.
I would rather play Advanced Warfare than one of the new Modern Warfare games.
Okay, I don't know what the fuck happened with 3, with the new Modern
It was
Warfare
literally
3.
like a DLC.
But it's like, what? Okay, Modern Warfare 2019 was not bad whatsoever. That was actually pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
And it did change up the formula. And then Modern Warfare 2, it had its issues, and I could see why. The multiplayer was basically the same, because before Modern Warfare 2 came out, it was Vanguard and Cold War, which were all roughly the same.
They were all basically the same one, yeah.
In all terms of gameplay. And that's one of the criticisms of MW2 was that, well, there was not much different.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like,
also,
I mean...
something that I thought was funny is that, like, Call of Duty's, like, biggest, like, breakout in popularity was when they stopped making games about World War II. And then in all of the marketing for Call of Duty World War II, they're like, they're going back! We're going back to World War II, back in the golden days of Call of Duty. And I was like, dude, it was only leaving World War II that made them distinct. Why would you go back?
Well, that's not entirely true. World at War was one of their best. Is I think up there as one of their best.
Yes,
games.
but there's a reason why the Modern Warfare and Ghost were such Ghost Recon, fucking whatever its name is. Now I'm
Ghost
blanking.
Recon's Tom Clancy.
I'm blanking. Ghosts. Call of Duty Ghosts.
Ghost was not that good.
Yeah. There's a reason that those ones are so beloved, and it's because they're different. They were different from all the World War II shooters.
Yeah, you compare Ghosts now compared to other games, I feel maybe we were a bit too harsh on it.
Yeah, maybe looking back on it, we were too harsh, but...
It at least had some interesting things about it, and you could argue the, forget what it's called, the extinction mode. At least that was at least somewhat creative.
Well, people definitely liked it when it came out.
Well, you also gotta remember like that fucking time frame as well, because like the 7th gen of consoles and like the beginning of 8th gen consoles was like nothing but first person shooters, and like they all started looking.
My point is that like if you were playing Call of Duty before like the Modern Warfare era, it was literally just another World War II shooter in a sea of them. It was like one of the more popular ones, but it was still so oversaturated that it didn't feel as distinct.
Well, in terms of Ghost also, you have to note that what game you were coming off from when you were making Ghost. They just had come off from making Modern Warfare 3, a game that overall has been pretty divided by the community.
Yeah.
Overall, I think... Yeah, the original Modern Warfare 3, like, now I think if you look at it, most people are very accepting of it. And I think what helps that now is how much of a failure the new Modern Warfare 3 is.
Yeah.
But especially
That's sad though.
Dude, the new Modern Warfare 3 is literally glorified DLC for Modern Warfare 2. And not even like, DLC.
You came off the original MW3, which was kind of divided, and then you kind of brought them back with Black Ops 2, and then you kind of lost them with Ghost. Now, no matter what game they brought out next, I think it was pretty clear that they were not topping Black Ops 2.
Did you know that games are the cheapest right now than they've ever been?
The $70 games.
Yes, they are cheaper right now than they used to be.
Well, I know. Yeah. Well, like that was the average price of a Super Nintendo cartridge.
Well, because of, no. I mean, like back when like Super Nintendo and 64 were first coming out, they were like $20 or $30, right? But what you're not thinking about is inflation.
Yeah.
And the fact that we kept it at $60 for like decades, even though inflation was still going up rapidly, is kind of why there's so many like other monetization methods in those $60 games. It's because $60 was crazy cheap for a big budget game to be, if you actually thought about like what it was worth compared to what it was taking to make it. Especially at the
time.
Yeah. If and there's people who have done like actual like statistics research and have researched how much dollars were worth and how much money the games costed, and they're like, no, yeah, these games are literally just cheaper compared to like how much the average person makes. But also the main problem is that everything else is more expensive, so they feel more expensive anyway, because it's like yeah, it technically $70 is less of my paycheck than $20 would have been then, but also I can't afford a house.
Yeah.
I mean, we can nowadays.
Exactly. It's like I can't even afford like housing and food, so I don't have the extra money for that little bit for that game.
Yeah. I never thought of that.
But yeah, they were. I think it's weird to think about, but what many people don't like is that like yes, it went up to $70, which I would be fine with for like the really big budget games. But the problem is that so many of those games are less fun than like the $15 indie games.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The biggest competitors are the fact that we can get cheaper games that are significantly more fun.
Mm-hmm. And granted, yes, those games, even though they are like indie games, they were undoubtedly cheaper to make, so it makes sense that they cost less. But the problem is that I feel like the new games, they aren't focused enough on making it an experience worth the price.
Right.
They're more focused on like just like how far can we push this engine? How far can we push these graphics? And I'm like, that doesn't make a game fun.
Do not spend $60 on Sonic Superstars.
And the issue with the issue with their logic there is that the more you push it, the more unstable of a game you're creating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's like, if you look at like the Call of Duties over the last few years, they've tried to push the graphics to the limit, and overall, it's just caused a lot of like
performance
issues, mostly in screen overlays, character models. Like, it caused a lot of issues in that department because you're pushing it so far.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, you're not working on even trying to fix those problems.
And don't get me wrong, having good graphics is great, and I'm never not bashing on the idea of having good graphics, but the reality is that most of the time art style is more important.
Yeah, I think we
there are exceptions to that. Like Red Dead Redemption 2 is one of the most beautiful games ever made, and its gameplay complements that because it's meant to feel like you're actually, a cowboy in the middle of the Wild West, which is awesome.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
But also, that game was the highest budget game ever made when it came out.
Yeah. Well, and you have a good chance that that's going to be toppled with GTA 6 coming out.
Yeah.
And note that there's going to be a lot of pressure on Rockstar with this game because of not only what the trailer has shown.
The years and years of waiting.
The years of
waiting,
the fact that
and
they kept adding shit to GTA Online.
and what you have to compete with on in terms of GTA 5.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, I'm sure it'll be a good game. The question is whether or not it will live up to what people expect of it.
Mm-hmm.
Because Rockstar makes good games. Like, we already know that.
Right. Like
The problem is that it's very likely that they're going to, like, drive their employees insane with overwork trying to make a game that lives up to the hype of being, like, the biggest Rockstar game to come out yet.
Yeah, it's like with Rockstar, most of their like GTA games, you could make an argument that all of their GTA games, that are at least of the mainstream, are all great.
Yeah, which I'm not as big of a GTA fan, but that's just my preference. I can see the appeal.
yeah, you can see the appeal. Goes to the strip club.
In the strip club, straight up jorking it, and
yeah,
by it,
no. Like, but yeah, no, I see what you're saying, and like, yeah, like very rarely do like actual consumers like, oh, this game has good graphics, ergo I want to buy it. You know?
yeah.
It's like they're looking for,
Especially if they find out that the game has like a battle pass and cosmetics you have to buy, and
right.
and you're like, well, I don't want to deal with that. I just want to buy the game and play the game.
Yeah.
Right. Not
But the problem is that because they keep pushing all these things that cost so much to do, it makes it so they can't feasibly price a game at $70 and then make it be a full experience with everything you could ever want in it.
Yeah.
Or if they did, they would need to do some major cutting of stuff. And that's also something that they do, is that games are purposeful, or game companies are incentivized to make games unsatisfying.
Which is pretty fucking weird when you think about it.
Because the less satisfied you are with it, the more likely you are to go back and replay it or buy the next game. Because if you get a perfectly satisfying ending to a game, you're less likely to come back to it because you'll be, satisfied with it.
Then why do I keep playing Undertale?
I don't know. I feel like that one's like a different strokes for
That one's a bit.
That's honestly must be
because
the whole game plan for EA, honestly.
Yeah. I'm not saying that satisfying games don't make people want to come back. It's just that if you're like left wanting more, then they're gonna be able to capitalize on it by making shitty sequels.
More desirable, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that seems more like a double-edged sword, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd rather game developers like make the best product that they can. Don't have to worry about that type of thing, that type of mentality. Mm-hmm. And it's just like if it's a critically acclaimed title, then that's great. But if it's just ends up being meh or whatever, then like so be it. Like everyone has to judge like the final product at the end of the day. We can't really like the behind the scenes stuff.
But here's the thing, though, like. Even if we do say, like, if the game is unsatisfying, you do come back. A lot of people, the first, like, 20 minutes of a game are, like, what they experience. If the game is shit, they're not gonna come back, most of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
First impressions matter.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, like, if Cyberpunk didn't have the fucking Edge Runners anime come out, they still wouldn't have a player base. If the game did become good.
Which it's Cyberpunk is good now, which is really weird to think about. It's a really good game now. Like it's genuinely just fun.
It's not the first one to do this, as No Man's Sky also did this type of comeback.
Mm-hmm.
But
dude, every single time I play a shitty game that's unfinished, I'm gonna go just look at No Man's Sky, bro. It's gonna be just like that.
No, I wouldn't say that. But
I've accepted that like Fallout 76 is like not broken anymore, but I just still find that game too boring.
It's only fun with friends. It's a friend game. If you don't have friends, it's just
yeah, most of my friends don't even play that game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I've heard that like people were like, yeah, if you get in a party with like 2 or 3 other people, it's genuinely like some of the most fun you can have with Fallout. But that's because you're doing it with other people, which makes it a different experience. And it's not the same thing as other Fallout games, because other Fallout games they pride themselves on the ability to make you feel alone in this wasteland. Whereas that game, it's like, nah, fuck around with your friends, do random shit, let's go.